Hey, senders, welcome to the segment podcast. I'm here with my buddy, Zach Rounds, aka Tumor Warrior. And lucky enough to have Zach on the show tonight. Zach, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing great, just finished up a ride today. I was out there sending it on the trails and I could be better.
Yes. Always love to hear that, man. The dirt's been great lately, huh? After the rain, tons of new stuff going on. How about on the
Oh
trails
yeah.
close to you?
Um, for the most part, yes, but some of the main trails are getting a little brake bumped and kind of braided and trenched. So that's not very
Yeah.
good for like steep
No,
trails. And I'm
that
not
makes a
very good
challenge.
with it. So
That always makes it an extra little, spice to the feature, right?
yeah.
So hey, Zach, your story is incredible, and you and I have been, wanting to get you on the show because I really wanted to share your story. Your story is very inspirational, and the way that it all happened, you guys that are tuning in, are gonna be amazed. I mean, things kinda just happen sometimes, and sometimes it's for a reason greater than we can really understand. And I believe that happened to my friend Zach here, and he's going to share a great story. But before we get started, Zach, look at all the folks that are already here in the audience. Right there, we got Adam Mock in here. We have Timothy Haley, Alpha MTB is in the house. You even have a spectator all the way from New Zealand. What's up, Marty?
Oh,
Octo Dad is out
Octodad,
there.
what's up?
Yeah, we also have Air Blair. Air Blair is in the house out of Laguna Beach. MTV Nick, what's up? MTV Nick, 1, 2, 3. Nick, you'll have to share the story with me one of these days. He posted a picture of his mom that he found, like, up late one night. And I'm sure there's a touching story behind it. It sounds like, Nick, sounds like your mom isn't with us anymore, but for whatever reason, when I saw that picture, man, I had to make a comment on it. That was a touching picture. We got Charlie Hicks is in the house. What's up, Charlie? Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. MTV Raging. What's happening? This is Craig out there in the Orange County area. You got Idaho in the house with Crisco Bike. Dang, Zach, you're bringing
That's
them
a
in tonight, man. Look at
that's a
this.
good comment. I like that one. That's a funny comment.
Hold on, what's happening? I was drinking and suddenly found my way here. Welcome, Ace. Welcome to the show. And EMTB A Rod here. Thank you for joining us. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Zach Round, aka Tumor Warrior 67. Check him out at tumorwarrior67.com for his website. It really tells his whole story. But basically, our story starts in San Clemente, right, Zach?
Yep, it all starts in San Clemente.
San Clemente. And what is the year when this whole journey started?
2017. Actually, today is the 5-year anniversary of when I had my very first surgery. So I find it as a bittersweet day, and there's nothing better to do than go riding. So that's what I did today, and I'm happy to be here, and everything's working out, and I like it.
That's awesome, man. Happy that you're here. We're going to take you guys back on a little bit of a trip here. We're going to take you back 5 years to the 5 years to this day is the surgery, but a few days before that, it was actually the day that Adam Mock posted the picture of the two gentlemen who crashed out in San Clemente and were airlifted to the hospital. That was actual anniversary of this footage right here. Zach, tee this clip up for us. What are we looking at here?
So it was Martin Luther King Day of 2017, and me and my buddies, we were like, "Hey, let's go ride San Clemente single tracks." And I normally ride San Clemente at night. I usually do night rides there, but we decided to go there during the day. And what happened was we did our normal loop. It was a normal ride, and at the end, I got the bright idea to hit a road gap, and a couple of my friends left and a couple stayed, and it just panned out this way, and I went for it, and yeah,
Here we
it just
go.
yeah.
All right, so I'm going to play the clip for you folks that are at home. If you're a little bit squeamish, just kind of want to give you a warning here at the 19-second mark. Something happens to Zach here that really changes the course of the future, but also brings to you a very inspirational story. Here we go. Oof. Zach, that you hear your buddies there cheering for you as you're taking off. And what what was happening through your mind when you first took off? Take us through those moments right before the jump and what you can remember after.
Um, Honestly, I don't remember it at all. People say I got knocked out. I say no, but they probably are right. I probably did get knocked out, and I don't remember dropping in at all. I don't remember about a minute after me laying on the ground. I just remember me being on the ground and then waking up and looking up at the power lines and my friend asking me all these concussion questions, and I got them all right. So I don't know, but I wasn't thinking of anything at all, and yeah, so I have zero clue what's going on during that crash, but I decided to send it and it went wrong.
Man, that was it. That was heavy. That was heavy. And you were airlifted out that day. Do you remember being airlifted out with the helicopter at all?
I do, yes. I was airlifted with my mom. She worked at OCFA, and she knew a couple of the guys on the crew, and they were kind of just talking to me like we're friends, and they made me feel comfortable. So I was glad I got airlifted out, and it was just getting late, and that was the reason why I was airlifted. So it was late, and I was under power line, so it was not really, a favorable position, but it was a favorable place because I got airlifted to Mission Hospital. I was right down the road from there. So
Okay. And how old are you when this happened?
I was I was 18 years old. I almost said 17. I was
18.
18 years old. Yeah, I just turned 18 by the time that happened.
18 years old. And for those folks who don't know Zach, Zach's a built guy, an extreme football player. In fact, you play football to this day. And at that time, if you look at some of these pictures here, I'll show you as I bring this up. Here is Zach getting airborne right here. So talented writer, athletic writer, and if you can see that right there, there you are, Zach. Where is this picture taken right here?
Actually, I just want to put one correction. I was 17
Yes.
when this happened.
Okay.
Um, I got my years mixed up. But yeah. So that picture is actually taken on Muscle Beach at Snow Summit Bike Park. That was in 2016. And me and my friends, we were just, having a fun day up there. And Jared Myers, the photographer, happened to be up there and he took a really good picture of me.
That's a beautiful shot, man. Is that the tombstone? You hitting the tombstone right there?
No, that's right next to it.
Yeah.
I still hadn't got my balls to hit the tombstone, but I hit the one right next to it, and it was real fun. So
Look at that, man. Steezy, steezy, steezy. So you crash, you're airlifted out. You have your wits about you. You're answering all the concussion protocol questions correctly. You're at Mission Hospital, and take us through what this picture is right here, because something happens here, I believe, in this realm that is part of this story here.
yeah, so that was something that was growing in my brain for a long time. That was the brain tumor that was in my cerebellum. Well, it was resting between my brainstem and cerebellum. So the brainstem and cerebellum are pretty important part of your brain, and it wasn't supposed to be there. It's the size of a golf ball at that point, so it was very big, and the doctors they haven't seen anything like that in a while or at all. And they were like, "Yeah, that's not supposed to be there. We need to remove it." So that's that's how it went.
Wow. And before the crash and before this image, did you have any idea, like, did you have any symptoms of any kind that this was this was growing inside of your brain?
No, not at all. I had 0 symptoms. I like, literally the day before that crash, I played in 3 rugby games. I scored 2 tries, and I was just being a normal kid, and then the following day, the tumor was discovered. Initially, nobody told me that I had a brain tumor until the neurosurgeon got there, which was a day later, and that's when I found out, and I was kinda like, "So you didn't wanna tell me yesterday? Like, what's going on?"
Yeah. Yeah, they wanted him to break the news. They just probably wanted to confirm, like, Dr. William Luden was the one who, diagnosed you with it or brought it to your attention, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So, what's going through your brain? I mean, you literally just had scored 2 tries, you were sending a road gap, feeling like $1,000,000, end up, you know, with the OTB there in the hospital getting scanned. Did you have any other injuries other from the crash at all, or just kinda shooken up from it?
Um, Not really, I didn't have any other injuries. I mean, I bruised my hip pretty bad. That was initially what was going on, and everyone out there was like, "Yo, it's probably internal, you should probably get airlifted. You don't really wanna walk on it because we don't know exactly what's going on." So, they did it out of precaution. I told my parents, and they were like, "Yeah, let me just call my friends at OCFA, and we got you airlifted." And they got me airlifted and went off to the hospital, and, that's when the hellish nightmare broke loose, so
Gotcha, gotcha. And with your story here, you're 17, 18 years old, you get diagnosed with this tumor in your brain, and, the doctors are wanting to take it out. How how does that journey go for you at that point? Are you scheduled right away? Is this something that they found that needed to be done extremely quickly?
They did schedule me right away. They were actually prepping me for surgery as I got into the hospital and they found out what it was. They were prepping me to get out. They couldn't find a neurosurgeon, until the following day, but the following day when the neurosurgeon said, "Yeah, I'll be able to remove it," he was like, "Not this week because this weekend I'm going out of town on a business trip," and I was unable to, have the surgery that week. So the following week, January 23rd of 2017, which today is January 23rd, 5 years ago, I was scheduled for my first ever surgery, and it happened to be a craniotomy.
A craniotomy. And right here on your website, it says cracking open the skull, surgery number 1. You look like anybody would look completely scared right here in this picture. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
And is this your mom that's standing next to you here?
Yes, that is my mother.
Okay, very cool, very cool. So, in the page before this one, you basically say, "I feel so lucky that I crashed because had you not found this tumor when you did the doctors ever tell you what could have happened if you would have just kept on going without knowing that this was there?"
Yeah, my neurosurgeon said the tumor was kind of triggered off of like high speeds, or that's what I remember. He said it was triggered off that, so he said you probably would have had a seizure on the road and or on the bike and probably died from
Oh,
that
geez.
because you had to be going, I think it was like 15 miles an hour or something. I'm not exactly sure about it, but he told me that that's what triggers it, and I I was like, well, that's good that you found it. Thank God.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that could have been awful, awful, awful. We got a couple people here in the audience that just want to say a few things to you. Um, it says here, Air Blair says, "Unbelievable story, such a blessing and a miracle." And
Thank you.
then Marty Octodad in New Zealand saying, "So MTB crash helped find brain tumor." Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
then we have Adam Mock is saying something about the airlift. He says, by the way, an airlift does not cost you anything. It's paid for by tax dollars unless it's Mercy Air, which they never have to call. Does that was that true for you as well in your experience?
I do not remember. Well, I didn't have to pay for it, or not that I think of. Um, Unless my parents paid for it and I didn't know. But I don't think that you have to pay for it. I think what he's saying is true. I don't know if it was Mercy Air that airlifted me. I think it was a helicopter from OCFA or something. I'm not
Gotcha.
exactly sure what it was
Yeah.
because I wasn't really able to look around. I was only able to look straight in the air.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah, I think Adam nailed it on that. By the way, airlift does not cost you anything, which is good, which is really good. And you also have a gentleman here named Omar who's on here for you. What's up, Omar? Good to see you. Omar is actually saying, "Wow, way too familiar, Zach. I feel you, man. Glad to see you're okay. If
Thank you,
you
Omar. Thank you.
if you get a chance, Omar's crash is documented in one of Adam Mock's latest videos. You'll see Omar in there with his crash. MTB Nick 123 says, "God is good." Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
God is good.
God is good. Alpha MTB says things happen for a reason. For sure, you have to look for the blessings in disguise. Sometimes, and glad you're okay. Yeah, man.
Exactly. Yep. I take this crash as a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that on that page where you said, "I'm so grateful for that crash." So take us through this moment. So you're 17, 18, obviously extremely scared, but feeling very blessed to find out that you have this tumor. You're going into surgery to correct it. What is happening here on the website when we're scrolling through here? Says says the ride to chalk.
Yeah. So when I was riding there, I kind of just put on music and try to like drown everything out. I kind of treated it like a football game to where I got to get like focused. I don't know why I did that. Just don't ask me. But after that, I remember thinking, I really don't want to die. And then I happened to wake up, but I was in extreme pain and it just it went downhill from there. So I'm thankful that I got it removed and just yeah.
So after surgery one, you say things went a little bit downhill. That wasn't the only surgery that you had from this, right? What happened after?
So after this surgery, I contracted a case of bacterial meningitis. I'm not sure where I got it, and bacterial meningitis, just for those who don't know what bacterial meningitis is, bacterial meningitis can literally kill you. I was on the verge of death almost every single day I was in the hospital, and it is a very serious thing to go through. And I happen to have it in the brain. So, the thing about the brain is what the infectious disease doctor told me is that the brain is kind of like a military base. It's hard to get into and it's hard to get out of. So, they had to find a medicine that can go Crisco bike, putting my usual sarcasm away.
Ace.
Yeah, yeah, and, so basically, I had bacterial meningitis in my brain, and they tried to find, a way to combat that without causing serious harm to me, and it turned out they went a little too light on the medication because I ended up getting it back again in my
Mm,
surgeries.
wow.
Or not in my surgeries, just during my stay, and then, yeah, it just kept going downhill till about May 30th. May 30th, that's when it was, so
Wow. Wow. And here we are on the fifth anniversary, and we're sitting on January, February, March, April, May. Good Lord. Um, when you first had the surgery and you were battling the infection, were you able to like function okay? I mean, cognitively, I'm sure you're thinking about things, but how about physically? Was there any repercussions to the surgery right after?
Yeah, there was. So after the first surgery, I had double vision. I currently still have double vision, but I had double vision. The whole right side of my body it was kind of like a paralysis. I couldn't really move it, so I had to relearn how to read, eat, walk, talk, do normal functions. And there was one other one that I can't remember. It was so small that oh, I had like nerve palsies. It's kind of like cerebral palsy, but it's not. You get it instead of it being
Mhm.
congenital.
Mhm.
And so I had cerebral palsy, or not cerebral. I keep messing up. I had six nerve and 12 nerve, those palsies, and then later on I got fifth and seventh, I believe. It was a lot of medical information thrown at me. I probably should know it a little better. That's my apology, but um,
No
yeah.
apologies needed.
So
That's a whole slew of things, going on, and I see here on this next page, it says learning to do things all over, like you were mentioning there, learning how to walk, like walking from your bed to a wheelchair to the toilet, progressing quickly. Um, how when in life when things happen to folks, whether it be something like this or anything that's some kind of adversity, how was your mental status while you were going through all this stuff? Because I do know that the warrior is part of your tagline, but I'm kind of getting to the point of, what was happening here? How are you feeling?
I had some things go on personally that I kind of just went on do not disturb mode. So no, I was like cutting myself off from outside connection and literally focusing 100% on myself. I know I had people praying for me. I know that I had people backing me up and in my corner, but I honestly just kind of like zoned out and shut everyone out and focused on myself because of, again, personal things that went on. So, I was just focusing on myself and I was able to get this done and over with. I would not go through it. Yeah. Actually, I might go through it again if you paid me. The bottom line would probably be about 5 million bucks, but
Right.
you know,
Sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Air Blair is saying here, much love for your mother. When we had that picture up of your mom prior to surgery one, she looks so
Mhm.
calm and in mother protection mode, in quotes, in that photo of you. And just know that she must have been an unbelievable pain for you as a mother. And
Yeah.
Blair
Thank you
also,
so much. Yeah, she's a very lovely mother. She is very loving, and so is my dad. He's very loving. So I'm glad I had two loving parents and two supportive parents, and I'm just glad they were in my corner and they helped me out.
yeah, yeah. And Blair's sending you a super sticker there of 9.99. So thank you, Air Blair,
Wow,
for that.
thank you.
There you go, buddy. Going back to your story, as you're going through it, you kind of went into go mode. It sounds like kind of what a lot of athletes do. Sometimes we kind of shut down and shut things out because we're so hyper focused on something. And it sounds like that's where you were, really just trying to
Mhm.
focus on making the comeback. And now, surgery one wasn't the only one. You're learning how to do things all over again. You're fighting off that viral infection, and then what happens here? I see here January 14th, struggling to take 5 steps for this rugby game.
Yeah, so that video was actually taken the day before of me scoring one of the tries. I throw the ball in. I kind of messed up. I was supposed to go behind the lifters. I didn't go behind them, and he kind of just threw it on the ground, and it bounced, and I like grabbed it and just ran. And it was kind of like the story. I kind of just was like, I'm doing this. I've got to get it done, and that's what it was. And then under that is me at physical therapy. Um, yeah, it was. I just had to relearn how to walk. I was walking, I think, laterally. Yeah, I was walking laterally in that
Mm,
video. So
wow.
it was. It's been a long, long journey, and it's not over, but it's been a long journey so far.
Yeah, and to put it in perspective, that's a 10-day difference. There you are, you know, on January 14th, out on the rugby field, January 24th, you're here in PT trying to get some lateral movement going. Down below, looks like you're working your legs. Shows you there in the wheelchair. And what happens next, Zach, from this point?
So, I went home after the very first surgery, went through PT and recovering. We thought it was going to be smooth sailing from there, but it wasn't. Um, as you know, I got bacterial meningitis, so excuse me. That brought me back to the hospital after about 7, 4, 7, something like that. Like 4 to 7 days, somewhere in that time frame. So I had to go back in the hospital, and it turns out I had bacterial meningitis.
I see that here. These scans here are they scanning the brain because of the bacterial meningitis, or was this something else happening here on this screen?
So, yeah, so I was getting, as you can see in the bottom picture, my head was kind of bulging, and we were wondering why, and that is actually CSF. And what CSF is cerebral spinal fluid. And kind of like a car, it's kind of like oil to the brain. You know, if oil is to a car, cerebral spinal fluid is to the brain, you know? So that's kind of like what helps it work out and everything. And it has a neural passageway in my brain, right, I think it's right here or right here. And that was actually being blocked by debris from the bacterial meningitis. And the bacterial meningitis caused my ventricles to swell up, and that was kind of catastrophic for me. It wasn't going as the doctor wanted it to. And then the road gap needs to be named after me. I love it.
Good one, Ace. That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, I wish the road gap was still there. I kind of want redemption on it, but they took it out. It's completely flat now. I've got to build a new one or something like that because right now it's just overgrown and flat. So uh, that's one of down the road. One of these days, I'll
Yeah.
rebuild it and hit it, but not right
Yeah.
now because 265 pounds is what I'm at right now, and I do not fly through the air very well. So
Right. I do
yeah,
remember, for the folks who were wondering how I came across Zach, it was through Adam Mock, and one of Adam Mock's rides, we were at Snow Summit, and I got to meet Zach and hear about his story. And because he plays football, he gets quite big for the season and then has to shed all that weight for after the season back to the bike. And that's a whole different mindset that he has to go through to make that. But back here, Zach, so you're dealing now with CSF, and you're getting swelling because the fluid's not able to get through there. What do they do now?
so the surgery 3 and 4, they were called third ventriculostomies or third ventricles. And what it does is they go in and try to open up my passageway for my CSF to go through. Um, the first one, it worked for about a couple months, or not a couple months, a couple days, and then it closed up, and then I started having problems again. And then they had a second one, they did it, and then it healed up again. So we were kind of like, well, what's going on? And then the next surgery is called a VP shunt, and basically what the VP shunt does is the passageway for the CSF is actually done through a I have a machine that's in my head now, and basically, or not a machine, a device. And so what it does is it collects the CSF and then it drains it in my lower abdomen. So I have a piece of like rubber tubing in my body that runs all the way from my head down to my lower abdomen that drains the CSF. And this
Mhm.
tubing is about the size of um thin pasta. Oh, what's the name? It starts with a V. I don't I forgot. Starts with a V, but it's a very thin pasta. I know that. It's very small. So that's what helps my brain drain the CSF.
Gotcha, gotcha. Um, so you're going through that. That third surgery seems to be working, and now it says after that it says back to the hospital, but with some different issues. Is this after CSF was taken care of, and now there's something else going on?
Yeah, so they thought that they took care of it with the medicine that I was on, and the medicine I was on also had a couple side effects. It was also in part of me. I was still taking high protein because I was in football and I was trying to get back. So I was eating a high protein diet, and then also I was um, on the medicine, and the side effect was kidney stones. And so I
Mm.
got kidney stones, and that triggered my hydros or not hydro, that triggered my bacterial meningitis to come back,
Oh my
and
gosh.
it just yeah. So it triggered that to come back, and I went to Mission Laguna, which I don't really remember at all. I know it took them 6 times to get my IV running because my veins are so deep,
Wow.
and on my forehead, those are called fiducials. I don't exactly know what they do still,
Okay.
even though they've explained it like 5 or 6 times to me, but I know that they look like Fruit Loops.
Yeah, a little bit, huh? Lifesavers or Fruit Loops,
Yeah,
but they're definitely on there doing something for you. You could totally tell, like in this picture, it says, "Yes, I feel like crap," is what you said on there.
yeah.
Um, so you're in there, bacterial meningitis comes back, and kidney stones, and in this picture, it says kidney issue surgery number 4.
Surgery for oh, okay. Well, maybe I only had 1/3 ventriculostomy to clear it up, and then I had the VP shunt put in. And then I guess surgery 4, and I had another one that was for the kidneys. So, yeah, those
Wow.
on top are the kidney stones,
Oh, sorry, let
and
me go back.
they were a decent size, and my kidney was also going into renal failure, and my
Holy
kidneys
cow.
were also calcifying, so
Jeez.
I was having bit of issues, so yeah.
Wow. Holy cow, Zach. I mean, so okay, so surgery 4, we see that, we see the kidney stones. It says Roto-Rooter, normal right picture here, and then on the left. For those of you who are listening on Spotify or iTunes, you can see these images here if you go over to the YouTube and see the live that we're doing right now. Um, but then, okay, so you have that, and then now it says another brain surgery number 5. And what is happening here? This is on March 4th.
That must have been the 3rd ventriculostomy. That was yeah, that was the other one. I know that I'm just, my brain's just going through all of this, but I can't really remember because I'll be honest, I don't remember time from January to March, or no, January to May. That was all just a blur to me, and I don't remember at all. I remember bits and pieces, all of about 20 minutes from
Okay.
those 5 months, so
Wow.
it's a little weird, and I might get my story mixed up, but I'm pretty sure that is my 2nd, 3rd ventriculostomy.
Wow. Man, Zach, this is a whole bunch of stuff for a 17-year-old, 18-year-old kiddo to go through. It looks like it doesn't end here. There's surgery number 6, EVD redo. Number 7 with the shunt. Um, and I'm just showing some of these pictures to show and to have respect for everything that you've gone through. But what I like to get to now is you've gone through a lot, and for a lot of people, if you were to take 100 people and you put them through this, half is going to go one way and the other half is going to go the other way, and a very smaller percentage is going to rise to the occasion and get that word warrior attached to it. what was the mental capacity, mental strength, or coaching, or how did you get to the mind frame of where you are now as the Tumor Warrior?
Yeah, Octodad, have a great night. Tim Haley, have a great night. And thank you, Adam. Yeah. Yeah, going to bed. I know it's getting pretty late, but duty calls. But yeah, so I'm sorry, what was the question again? I got a little bit distracted.
Yeah, no, no, this is good.
I
Thanks.
heard a little bit of it.
Thanks for jumping on there, you guys. Appreciate you guys always. The question was, you've been through a ton here, and for anybody, let alone 17-year-old, 18-year-old kiddo to go through, what was the mindset that you put yourself in, or the coaching that you had, or maybe the influences that were upon you to allow you to go from surgery number 7 to making your way all the way back to the football field, making your way all the way back to the mountain bike, and being the warrior you are today?
Yeah, so after surgery, I think it was 5, I kind of went off of the mode of do not disturb mode, as I say. And I was kind of more on my phone, kind of opening it up. And thank you, yes, I'm definitely a warrior. Um, and yeah, I was kind of opening back up to like social media and everything. And I had a lot of haters and a lot of doubt coming at me from certain kids. And that's kind of like what pushed me through to get from surgery 7 to the end. And, it's still going on. But all the haters, all the doubt, that is what fueled me to get
Mm,
through to the end and kind of like prove it wrong to them and kind of go, well, I made it, so you're wrong. And, revenge, not really revenge, but,
yeah,
you know, kind of redemption, be like, well, I made it, so, oh,
yeah. No, man, to go from surgery 7 to where you are today is huge, and every time, you can use anything as fuel mentally, it's a huge advantage in your favor, and in this case, it definitely was. I mean, going from PT, where you could barely walk 5 steps, to, being back out on the football field like you are today is extremely amazing. One of the bigger YouTubers here is on
Colorado
the
kid.
chat. Yeah,
How's it going?
there
Yeah,
you
yeah.
go. He's a fan. He knows Colorado Kid. What's happening, Joe? I'm a fan too.
I remember he, filled in for my spot when I had to cancel last minute. It was very
Yeah.
short notice, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Colorado Kid. He actually was driving through. He stopped at the house and set up a studio in the kitchen.
Yeah, that was a fun podcast, I liked it.
That
Yeah.
was thank you. That was a fun one. So you're basically proving the haters wrong. I mean, people can be so shady when it comes to this type of stuff, and they're very brave on keyboards when it comes to this. But I mean, you're going through all these surgeries from that crash, 7 surgeries later. I can't imagine what these people are thinking, but what kind of hate was coming at you? Because it seems so not valid, but it fueled
Yeah.
you.
Mhm. Yeah, so, most of the kids, they were on most of my teammates, actually, they were telling
Oh,
me, "Yeah, you're
jeez.
never gonna make it back on the football team. You're never gonna make it back on the field. You won't be able to do this. You won't be able to do, like hitting, or you won't be able to jog ever in like a month or so. You have to probably wait a year because you don't have the drive in you to do it." And
Mm,
all those comments just fueled me, and I was just like, well, it's showtime. I gotta show them wrong. So
nice. Challenges, man. Challenges, challenges. Elias, my buddy Elias up here, Valencia, says, Zach, just catching up with all the comments. Much love for you, brother. Your story is incredible.
thank you so much.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. Colorado Kid says when he stepped in for you that day, he says, "Good times. Even got to handle some Nerf guns while I was there."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched that. You guys had a little nerf war.
Yeah. Yeah, he raided, my son's closet. That was a good intro for, good exit there for Colorado Kid. That was great. So, these guys are fueling you. They're your teammates. What position do you play on the football field, on the football team?
Um, I'm an offensive lineman. I play one of the it's probably the most skilled position on the field. Most people don't think that you need skill to play it, but you actually need a lot of skill. But I'm on the offensive line. I play right and left guard. Either
Oh,
one
dang.
works because,
Nice.
yeah, I've just worked both. That's how I was working both. I didn't know whether I would go left or right in game, so I decided to work both, and it paid off.
Quarterback's best friend. Quarterback's
Yeah,
best friend. So when you're going through your rehab, you know, the doubters are saying you're never going to make it back on the field. Are you and you're kind of like 17, 18 years old, so you're high school going into college, right? Were you accepted by Chapman yet, or were you not quite at that moment?
I wasn't quite at that moment. I went out, I had a season, I had a couple surgeries, and then I had another season. So I was only a junior. I had 2 years left of high school. And for Division III football, they do not recruit younger than seniors
Okay.
because I think the NCAA rules are you cannot recruit that young. I'm not exactly sure on it. I'm not a rules expert, but I'm pretty sure that's how it is. But um, yeah, those came down the road. Um, Not quite there yet, but they're down the road.
So when you're in this moment, you're going through PT, you're rehabbing. Did you lose a lot of physical strength and motor skills that you were trying to get back? And were you aiming to get back on the field the very next season, or what was your goals?
Yeah, that was my goal was get back as fast as possible. And I honestly I don't even know how I did it, to be honest, right now. I'm kind of sitting here just like, wow, I used to work out 5 times a day to get back. And I'm thinking that I'm doing a lot of work when I work out once or twice a day. So it it kind of changed for me, but yeah, so it just it was a weird time. And the first surgery, or no, not the first, the hydrocephalus, it actually caused, well, my brain swelled up, causing hydrocephalus. The bacterial meningitis caused hydrocephalus. I'm mixing up words. But the bacterial meningitis caused the hydrocephalus, and the hydrocephalus caused my brain to swell, and that caused the ventricles to push on my nausea and vomiting nerve. So I
Mm,
would throw up basically whenever I had the chance,
jeez.
and it was it was rough because I went from 235 playing varsity football to 180 in about 2 or 2.5 months.
Wow.
And that was like all skinny. I was kind of anorexic at that point, and I was like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then they put me on a steroid. And no, by the way, I'm not big because I take steroids, but they put me on a medical steroid. Um, and that ballooned me up to 280. So I drastically went from 220 to 180 to 280. So it
Wow.
was a very weird change in my body, and my body is still kind of, catching up with everything. And yeah, so
Yeah. Man, that's a lot of change in getting everything back. When you were going through that, was there anything on your mind that you're not going to be able to do this? That you felt like maybe maybe they're right, maybe the haters are right. I'm gonna throw in the towel, or did this feel you even more?
thank you, Adam. Thank you for the plug. Yeah. No, I never thought about throwing in the towel at all. I kind of like, I'm a very stubborn person, so when I put my mind to it, it either gets done or it gets done. Because there's no other outcome for me when I go through it and I put my mind to it. So being very stubborn is kind of like, it's like a double-edged sword. It could be really good for you or it could bite you in the back. So
Yeah. No, in this case, it was really, really good for you. Charlie Hicks is saying, "What a story! I may have missed it, but where do you play? And could you share your Instagram? And hey, keep showing all those haters what you're made of. That's
Yes.
dope."
So right now I play at Chapman University in Orange, California. They're a small Division III school. They are a private school. It's a great school for me. I really love it. I'm enjoying it. And my Instagram, as Adam beat me to it, is Tumor Warrior 67. And I also have a YouTube channel. So that's
Yeah.
that's where I am.
Now the 67, I noticed. Now your O line, left side and right side, but does the 67 does that number carry anything special for you, or why is it 67?
Yeah, so actually, if you can see right here, that was my old high school jersey. Um, I played 5 years in it, yet right up there. That 67 is my high school jersey. So the 67 comes from me wearing 67 all 5 years of high school.
Got it. Got it. And then the jersey that you are in now, the black Chapman jersey that we see is a 66, I believe.
Yeah, it's 66. I did not get to choose my number this year just because I was a transfer. It was my first year, and I kind of just got what they had because all the upperclassmen and all the people who had been there, they had first pick, and I was unable to get that number.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Still gotta love it. Every time I see 67, I think of you.
Thank
um,
you.
we got Adam Mock saying, by the way, Zach has a great sense of humor. He wiped out 3 times in Summit and just rolled with the punches. Just watch his vids on the steeps and you'll see what I mean. We
Yeah,
got
thank you.
Charlie Hicks here says, thanks, Adam. Big veterans group right here. The bomber crew is in the audience. What's up, boys? Great to see you, boys and girls. I see Echoes in there, and they say BC MTB has arrived. Alpha MTB is part of the bomber crew, and great to see you
Okay.
today at the pump track. He has a question for you, Zach. Alpha MTB is saying, I don't remember if it was mentioned or not, but was there any long-term damage done by all of those surgeries/infections?
Yeah, so down the road, it's actually taking longer than I thought, but down the road in surgery 13, the right side of my face gets paralyzed. So when I smile and when I do big facial movements, you can kind of see it, but the right side of my face is paralyzed. The right side of my body, it shakes and tremors when I work out and work hard. Like when I'm pushing my body, they shake and tremor, and it's kind of unnerving for other people. And then also, my balance is a little bad because they cut into my cerebellum. So, but that is the center of balance and coordination for your body, and that happened to be cut into. So I still have lasting effects from those.
Do those affect your ability to ride the mountain bike at all?
They did when they started, but what I use the mountain bike kind of as physical therapy for my balance because I know that it takes serious balance and coordination to do it. So I've just been riding and my balance has been getting better. And on the trails or in my videos, I don't know if you've seen, but my wheel and like my bars, I kind of make big corrections. That's one of the things that I'm trying to, tone down a little bit. And also, what I forgot to mention was I still have double vision, so that's how I ride. But since I've been doing it for so long, I kind of just ignore one eye, so I'm just looking out of my left eye for vision, and then use all the auxiliary like peripheral vision and
Mhm.
kind of like motion and everything. I use that out of my right eye as well, and depth perception and everything.
Wow, dang man, Zach, you definitely are. Zach Brown definitely are a warrior. Adam Mox says, "Keep inspiring, Zach. Ever
Thank you,
upward."
Adam.
Got the
Have a good
peace.
night, man.
You got the peace and love for you, Air Blair. Peace and love, Adam.
Peace and love.
So with everything that you've been through, Zach, you've seen adversity and you have gone through adversity and you've proved people wrong. You've been back out on the field, you're on the mountain bike, and you're still overcoming adversity today. For people out there that maybe feel like they're alone, they're going through something, it may not be exactly what you're going through, but there's adversity there. What is something that you would like to tell them to help them get to the next step or have that extra fuel to get them where they want to go?
Yeah, I'd like to tell them that you are not alone. There are people out there who have probably been in the same situation, or for me, it's kind of different situations, but all kind of lumped together. And it is unique, but people have gone through similar things. You can reach out. There's always people to help you. If you go through a brain tumor, I work for the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation as a peer-to-peer mentor. So you can go on their website, you can sign up for, a mentor, you can get a mentor, or you can request one, I believe, and they will give you a mentor. We have frequent meetings with you. We kind of, keep you up and keep you happy and, not down on life. And that's what we can do. And then just if you put your mind to it, you can achieve it. There's nothing you can't achieve. Just like David and Goliath, he put his mind to it and he achieved it. So you can achieve anything you want to achieve.
Love it, man. Good words there by Zach, the Tumor Warrior. And Zach, tell the folks out there, like, while you're going through all this, mountain biking has always been one of your best buddies. It actually saved you from a what could have been a catastrophic brain tumor.
hmm
It's helping you regain your balance today. But what does mountain biking mean to you?
Mountain biking to me, not only does it mean physical therapy and, healing, but what it means to me is just time where I just get away from people. It's like my escape. I don't have people to, bother me during mountain biking. I have a certain group of friends who mountain bike. They want to come, they can come with me. And, if they don't, they don't because I'm out in nature. I am finding my inner peace out there and I'm just doing what I do and I just mountain bike. I first got into it in eighth grade. I was being bullied, for being overweight. And I went to somewhere that just didn't have judgment and I just worked on it and I became pretty good at it and I just kept doing it and it's just my escape. So
That's awesome, man. It's a peace, right? It brings you peace. It's something that can take you to a place that's unlike any other place that most people go. That mountain bike is amazing. Have a couple comments here for you, Zach, from the audience. Alpha MTB says again, you're a warrior, brother. Not everyone have the heart to continue to do what you do. Truly an inspiration.
thank you, Alpha.
Charlie Hicks says, great message. Great
Thank you,
message.
thank you.
Alpha MTB is also asking. Oh, also, okay, the cereal and the soup question. I don't know if you're familiar with the show, but we have a few minutes here, so definitely, Zach. I used to ask guests on the show questions at the end that were kind of like lighthearted, funny, just to see how people answer. And one of them was, "Is cereal a soup, and why or why not?" So Alpha is asking me if you would mind answering that question. What is cereal? Is it a soup or is it not?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'm gonna say it is a soup, but
Ooh, tell.
I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate from everyone. Okay,
There's no
so
wrong
I
answer,
think,
by the way.
yeah, I think it's a soup because if you look at like chicken noodle soup or split pea soup, you have stuff that's in the broth. And milk, even though it is cold, I still consider it to be the broth of your cereal. So
Interesting.
it could be it could be both soup and cereal, but I'm going more on the soup side because I think that the cereal is the broth. Or no, the cereal is the contents in the broth. So that's what I'm going with.
I like it. I like it. The milk, it just pulls all that stuff out of the actual cereal to create a broth. I can dig that, man. I'd buy
Yeah.
that for sure. We have another question for you. Ace out in Idaho. He is asking, "What steed are you riding?" And by the way, this is coming from a mountain bike company out there. They're asking, "What
Ooh.
are you riding?"
So in the videos and previously, I was riding the Kona Process 153 DL. It was 2016 model. Now I am riding the 2020 Rocky Mountain Altitude Carbon 50. And I've
Ooh,
got I've got some customizations on there, like better rear shock. I'm doing the Fox Float, um, what is it? DH2, I think it's that one. And then I've got, some better hubs on there just to because, their hubs are not known as the greatest, but I have great people down at the Path Bike Shop to help me out.
oh, shout out to the Path Bike Shop. Are you a pathlete by chance?
I am not, no. I haven't really gotten involved too much with, kind of like the mountain bike, not the mountain bike community, so to say, but like I haven't gotten good enough to where I can start like, showing myself off for other companies or anything. I just find myself kind of as middle of the road and like I'm good, but I'm not great. I'm not, not like MTB Allen where he just shreds. I'm not like, other athletes that are just super good because my uphill it always has been terrible. I've always hated it and it's just bad. It's gotten a little less bearable or little less enjoyable. No, little less unenjoyable.
Yeah.
That's yeah, that's where it was. It's gotten a little less unenjoyable, but it still is terrible. But downhill, I do love downhill. Um, weighing 265 pounds does kind of benefit you going downhill as well because, as my dad says, gravity sucks.
Yeah. Well, I think you'd be a great pathlete or anybody because you've got such a great personality and your story is incredible and the mindset to come back from 13 surgeries and all those different complications and to be here as a motivational speaker, to say and to help people that are going through dark times, definitely takes a warrior like yourself to do this. We have Crisco Alpha MTB says, "I think it depends on the cereal."
You know what?
So
That may be true because some cereals they take up more of the bowl than other cereals, and and some cereals they kind of sink in the milk, and
right.
some cereals kind of like lay on top of the milk. So that is a good point. That is a great
That's
point.
true. That's true. And some of those really, really healthy slash healthy cereals, they may not have anything to pull into the milk broth, you know?
Yeah.
uh, we say, oh, of course, Ace is asking this one. Oh, by the way, he wants to know. And did we ever find out if the bike was okay in that crash from 5 years ago?
So
Right? That gets a good
yeah.
chuckle.
Funny story about that bike.
Oh,
It was actually a rental bike. My bike
oh,
was in the shop, so I was renting the Kona Process 153 DL. I think the rear triangle is carbon. I bent that.
oh
I
my
sheared
gosh.
off the rear axle, and
Holy cow.
I did something else. Um, I think I tacoed a rim or something. But yeah, so it was kind of an expensive rental bike at that point because I had to pay for it. But yeah, so yeah,
Oh,
wasn't the best move on my part to do that on a rental
man.
bike. But I had to send it. That's all I had to do.
Yeah, yeah, man. And you did. If you guys are joining in a little bit later, if you go back to the beginning of this, we start the episode off with this actual jump that put Zach down this path that we're talking about today. Holy smokes, Spokesman MTB. I think this is the largest donation I have gotten that, and all the donations, by the way, go to the guest of the show. Spokesman MTB says, "Great message. Keep up the great work and enjoy the ride." That
Wow,
is
thank
awesome.
you. Thank you.
That That is awesome. Isaiah Bernstein is on the line. Hey, congratulations, Daddy. Isaiah, who just had a beautiful bouncing baby girl,
Oh,
uh, is
congratulations.
is here. Yeah, he says so amazing and so inspiring. That is awesome. Air
Thank you, thank
Blair.
you.
Air Blair was wondering the same thing that Crisco Bike was wondering if that bike was okay too. so
Somewhat, somewhat, yeah.
that was awesome. Crisco says, "Yeah, Mark. Sorry, we got to know if the bike was okay too." Spokesman MTB's here. Um, Isaiah says, "Yes, and thank you for the baby wishes." Crisco Bike says, "A moment of silence for that bike," and there's the silence.
Yeah,
Zach, we are on an hour. I loved your story, and I hope you guys have found this inspiring, motivational, encouraging. Share it with somebody who might be going through something of their own. If they're looking for a beacon of light or a lighthouse or a story to uplift them, send them on over to the Zach Brown story, the Tumor Warrior story. Um, Zach, is there anything that you'd want to share kind of as we wind this down for the people that are listening now or the people that may be finding you in the future that are looking for a little bit of light?
yeah, first and foremost, for those of you who haven't gone into, the podcast earlier, this is the 5th year anniversary of my very first brain surgery, so January 23rd of 2017, and I also wanna share is that you can find your peace anywhere, you can find joy anywhere, and you can do what you can do when you put your mind to it. You can achieve literally anything if you put your mind to it. If humans want to fly, if you find a way where humans can fly and you find it out and you put your mind to it, you could probably achieve that. I'm not saying that, it's possible. I don't think humans flying is possible. We don't have wings unless I'm, a default defected human. But that's yeah, never mind. That's a bad example. But like, say, if you want to do a backflip, keep trying, keep going for it.
Mhm.
You can do it. You can if you put your mind to it, you can do it. You can achieve it.
I love it, man. Like they say, a dream without a goal is just a wish. And like you said, you just put your mind to something, work on it every day, use things for fuel. In your case, it was the haters and the doubters that wouldn't think that you could make it back on the field. And there you are today. Yeah, I see on your Instagram, there you are today, wreaking havoc and protecting that quarterback and making sure that those plays get handled.
Yeah.
And you're out on the bike, regardless of things that are still happening to you today, you're still out there charging and finding your peace, which was great. We got a few more folks here that are chiming in. Elias is in. He says, is there a video of the crash? And yes, there is. If you go back to the beginning of it. And Charlie Hicks is saying, keep up the stoke, brother. And thanks for sharing and definitely take care.
Yeah, no
Um,
problem.
MTV Nick wants to know, where are you riding? Because maybe we'll catch you out on the wild in some of these trails that you like to go to.
Yeah, so I am riding Los Colinas, which is a local trail network to me. It's literally right up the street. Um, I also ride Los Ramblas. I ride in San Clemente, the single tracks there, where I crashed. I haven't gone to the luge in a while. I've been to the luge before, but I haven't gone in a while. I'm not a fan of that trail because kind of a big climb for only one downhill and I'm more downhill oriented. But I have done the luge in the past. I need to go back to Santiago Oaks. That is a real fun one. I also go to Laguna and Aliso a lot. So out there, that's probably the best bet. I'm probably out there in one of those spots either Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those are my riding days. So
Holy
those are my
smokes.
days. Yeah, that I ride. Yeah.
Yeah. Trail Dogs is saying they got to get you out to a group ride. That'd be awesome to have
Yeah, that'd
you
be awesome.
at one of those, uplift you and share your stoke. Zach, in closing, Oh, we got one more. Isaiah Munoz is asking, what's Zach's favorite position group in football other than his own? Oh, interesting. Other than the O line, left side or
Oh,
right side, what is
yeah.
your what would it be?
Hmm. Well, I know this person who asked the question. I know he's on the D line, and I'm pretty sure I know what his answer would like to be. I'm pretty sure
Somewhere
that
on
would
the
be D line,
D
but
line.
my favorite position group, I would probably have to go with corners because they can't really
Mm,
talk crap on me other than my speed because I can talk crap back to them about their hands because if they had hands, they would probably be wide
wide
receivers. So
receivers.
so I kinda like the, you know, I like cornerbacks because they kinda know, like, well, we can't really say anything because they can bring that argument in, whatever, and they're pretty friendly. The wide receivers, corners, the safeties, linebackers, just everyone on the football field, they're super fun. I just, you know, I love everybody on the football field, and hopefully I don't bring on, people who hate me, but I just try to spread the joy, spread the love.
Nice. Two incredible sports, man, that you are a part of and everything that you've gone through. What a full circle story when it comes to what happened to you and basically essentially possibly saving your life by being able to find out what was going on by that mountain bike crash. Who would have ever dreamed that that could have happened?
Yeah.
Zach, in closing, let people know where they could reach out to you, follow your story, and see what you're up to
The
in the
big
future.
SART ride. Okay. Actually, my dad has been trying to get me out to do SART, so I'm in. I am definitely in. S
Let's do
as
it.
long as, there's a decent size group, not a decent size, more like 4 to 5 people, who are willing to watch me suffer, then yeah, we're in.
Nice. Air Blair, he is awesome. He's been trying to get this SART ride going. We have a group text, and every time Air Blair sends a text message to the group, he has in these quotation marks SART. It's very subliminal, but he wants to get this SART ride. So you're in. We're getting you in.
Yeah.
Blair
I
is
am
saying,
so in. Yeah.
Blair is saying yes. For the folks who want to follow your story, Zach, and continue to watch you, who may have just learned about you, where can they find you and how do they follow you?
Yeah, so I have a website that documents my journey at www.tumorwarrior67.com. Tumor Warrior 67 on YouTube or Tumor Warrior 67 on Twitter and Instagram as well. And Facebook. I think I have Tumor Warrior on Facebook as well. So those are I have a very, prominent social media presence. I don't really have a following on social media, but I'm there. You guys can find me at Tumor Warrior 67, and yeah, so I'm on there, and also one thing is we only got to surgery 7 in the podcast. I'm thinking that might mean there should be a part 2 because we still got 8 surgeries to go.
Ooh, 15 total?
Yep, 15 total.
Wow. Holy cow. Absolutely. Yeah, we definitely need to get you back on and go over the rest of those and really, figure out what was happening there and how your mindset could really help other people that are daunting that. So I didn't realize we're only halfway through those. Geez, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, Zach, dude, you are definitely an inspiration. Keep telling your story, man, and keep motivating folks. I love that you're a spokesman for other people that are going through something similar to this, and just inspirational to everybody that is facing adversity. Already out of this, it looks like we're going to get a big SART ride out of this, which is going to be great. Bomber Crew is jumping in here to say, let's do a Bomber Crew and Trail Dogs SART ride.
Ooh,
Um,
that'll be fun.
that would be fun, and, you could be the star of that ride. That's gonna be a big one, a big one. Crisco Bike here in Idaho says, "I'll definitely tune in for part 2."
Alright,
Uh,
yeah.
alright, folks, we'll definitely have Zach back on for part 2. Thank you all for jumping on to this podcast, and, Zach, go ahead and close this out. Anything else you'd like to share with anybody?
No, I really couldn't say anything. I'm super happy. I'm super excited. I'm super blessed to be here on the podcast, be here with you all. Thank you all so much for, listening to my story. I know it's a very long story, but it's an incredible story, and I hope that I inspired just one person. That's what I go for every time is just one person, because over the accumulation of time, one person equals 100 people, and that equals 1,000 people, and it just keeps going and going the more I talk about it, and that's what I plan on doing, spreading all the joy and the peace and all the love.
Love it, man. Spread the joy and the peace, one person at a time. All right, folks, keep an eye out for Zach Round, Tumor Warrior, and we'll definitely see you soon and hopefully see you out on the trails soon.
Yeah.
See you
All
guys.
right. Yeah. See ya.
You.